What if I told you? Iran claims it just hit one of America's most powerful warships. Not a rumor, not a movie scene, but a real claim made by Iran's military. They say they struck the massive U.S. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln. But the United States says nothing happened. So who's telling the truth, and more importantly, what are they not telling us? Because sometimes the biggest stories aren't the ones we see. They're the ones hidden between the lines. It started like any other breaking news alert. A headline, then another, and suddenly multiple media outlets began reporting the same shocking claim. From the Times of India to NDTV and News 18, the message was clear. Iran claims it attacked a U.S. aircraft carrier. At first, people thought this was just another exaggerated headline, because in today's world we see dramatic headlines every day. But within minutes, something changed. Social media exploded. Videos, missile animations, breaking news edits, war thumbnails, everyone had an opinion. Some said, this is the beginning of World War III. Others said, this is just propaganda. But no matter what people believed, everyone stopped scrolling, because uncertainty creates curiosity, and curiosity keeps you watching, and that's exactly what happened here. But to understand why this claim is so serious, you need to understand where it happened. The Middle East is not just another region, it's one of the most strategically important places on Earth. At the heart of it lies the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow strip of water, but one of the most powerful choke points in the world. Nearly 20% of global oil supply passes through it. Now think about that for a second. If anything disrupts this route, fuel prices spike globally, stock markets react instantly. Economies feel the pressure within hours, and suddenly, a regional conflict becomes a global crisis. And right here, between United States and Iran, this claim emerged. Two nations with a long history of tension. But this tension didn't start today. It has been building for decades. Sanctions, military presence, proxy conflicts, strategic warnings. Every few years, something happens that brings both sides closer to the edge, and every time, the world pauses. Because everyone knows, one wrong move could change everything. Now let's focus on the center of this story, USS Abraham Lincoln. This is not just a ship, it's a floating military fortress, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier capable of launching air operations anywhere in the world. It carries fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, advanced weapon systems. Thousands of crew members live and work on it. It operates like a moving city in the middle of the ocean. And most importantly, it never travels alone. It is always surrounded by a powerful strike group, destroyers, cruisers, submarines. Each layer adds protection. Each layer adds defense, so hitting it is not just difficult, it's extremely rare, which is why this claim shocked so many people. Because if true, this would be one of the most significant military incidents in recent history. According to reports, Iran's elite force, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claimed they launched missiles targeting the carrier. And not just launched, they claimed success. Now pause for a moment. Think about what that means. A direct hit on a U.S. aircraft carrier, that's not just news. That's a global event. But here's where things take a strange turn. There was no confirmation from the United States, no official statement confirming damage, no visual evidence, no satellite images, nothing. And in today's digital world, where everything gets leaked, everything gets recorded, how can something this massive stay hidden? That silence is what made this story even bigger. Because sometimes, what is not said is more important than what is said. Let's break this down logically. Aircraft carriers like the USS Abraham Lincoln are protected by multiple defense layers. Advanced radar systems detect threats from miles away. Missile defense systems intercept incoming attacks. Escort ships provide additional protection, and all of this works together to make sure the carrier remains safe. So for a missile to successfully hit it, it would have to avoid detection, bypass defense systems, penetrate multiple security layers, which is extremely difficult. And if it actually happened, there would be visible consequences. Now imagine the scenario: a missile is launched, radar picks it up, alarms start ringing, crew members rush to their stations, defense systems activate instantly. Interceptors are launched, seconds feel like minutes. If the missile is destroyed mid-air, the threat ends. But if it gets through, impact, explosion, fire, emergency response, and within minutes, the entire world would know. But in this case, Urias, we saw none of that. No fire, no damage, no emergency signals, just silence. And that brings us to the most important part of this story. Two possibilities. Either the attack happened and the truth is being controlled, or the attack never happened. And this is a strategic narrative because in modern warfare, information itself is a weapon. Psychological warfare is not about destruction, it's about perception. If a country can convince its enemy that it is stronger than it actually is, it gains power without fighting, and sometimes a single claim is enough to create that effect. Fear spreads, doubt spreads, attention shifts, and suddenly, the narrative becomes reality. Media plays a crucial role in this process. Outlets like the Times of India, NDTV, and News 18 reported the story carefully. They didn't confirm it, they used one key word, claim. That one word creates distance, it informs but doesn't validate. And in global reporting, that distinction matters. As tensions grew, Donald Trump reacted strongly. He warned that any attack on U.S. forces would bring serious consequences. And that reaction tells us something important, even without confirmation. The situation is being taken seriously. Now imagine if this situation escalates. Military retaliation begins. Alliances get involved, oil supply gets disrupted, markets crash, global tension rises, and suddenly, a single claim becomes a global crisis. History has shown us something important. Wars don't always begin with certainty. Sometimes they begin with confusion, with incomplete information, with unanswered questions, and that's exactly what makes this situation so dangerous. But there's another layer to this story: human psychology. Why are we so drawn to stories like this? Because they combine three powerful elements: fear, power, uncertainty. Our brains are naturally wired to focus on threats, and when something involves global superpowers, it becomes impossible to ignore. That's why this story spread so fast, that's why people kept watching, and that's why you're still here. So let's go back to the original question: did Iran actually hit the USS Abraham Lincoln? We've looked at everything: the claim, the silence, the logic, the possibilities, but still, no clear answer. And that uncertainty is what makes this story so powerful. Because not all wars are visible. Some are fought through information, through narratives, through perception. This is the invisible battlefield, where the goal is not destruction, but influence. So what do we actually know? Iran made the claim. The US has not confirmed it. No solid evidence exists publicly, which means the truth is still hidden. And until it comes out, the mystery continues. Because in today's world, information travels faster than missiles. And sometimes, the first thing to explode is not a ship, it's the story. And sometimes, the story becomes more powerful than reality. So the next time you see a breaking headline like this, don't just ask, what happened? Ask, why is this being told this way? Who benefits from this narrative? Because in modern conflicts, the real war is not just on the battlefield, it's in the mind. And if you want to understand what's really happening behind global headlines, subscribe now. Because the truth is never as simple as it looks.